everybody, what's up, what's going on? It is your girl Symone. I'm back today with another video. So I'm starting today with this Cuban Twist super long 24-inch hair. I'm using this to do crochets in the back of my hair. You can use regular cake line hair for this, but I like the Cuban Twist because it comes pre-separated already. So I'm going to be cutting it in half, and then I am going to be stretching it out. Now you want to stretch the hair out just so it is not as bulky and you don't have to do as much cutting and thinning out as if you didn't stretch it out. And I'm going to show you here as a comparison side by side. You see how much better it looks stretched out than if you just leave it thick. Now this is the braid pattern I have. You probably want to braid about half of your hair up, and I'm going to be crocheting this hair into my head. You want to put the crochet needle through, and you want to take each individual section of the Cuban Twist hair and pull it through, and you want to double tie it. I mean, since it's cake line, it'll probably stay if you do the single, but I always like to do the double knot so I can make sure that it is in there really good. Now do not laugh at my naps in the back of my head. This is a natural style and you're not going to see it anyway. So that just happened because, like I said, these braids are from a sewn that I have had in my hair for about a week or two previous to doing this style, and I knew I wasn't going to have this style in for too long. I just have it in about a day or two, so I didn't want to go through washing my hair and re-braiding it. And I really wanted to do this style to take a picture because I saw a photograph on Pinterest and I really wanted to recreate this look. This is about halfway into crochets, and I'm just going to start separating the hair. You do not want to wait until you get all of the hair put in because then it will be too much to separate and to brush through. So I just like to do it along the way just so I don't have as big of a job to do and it just doesn't get as tangled together as if I waited until the end. So I'm just going to brush it through. You want to make sure that you really keep this hair separated because it will bunch up on you and it will tangle up, especially with this being the Cuban Twist cake line hair. Now I am going to be adding these crochets in all the way up into the top. Now you can do this kind of spacey if you would like, just because this hair is so thick and you won't be able to see the scalp of your head. If you do not want it to be as big, you can really space this out in between. Now I am going to be separating apart just so that can cover the top part of the crochets, just so it is undetectable. And I do have some edge control still in my head from when I did the previous style before this. If you haven't seen that video, make sure that you check that out. And you know, that isn't anything, it's just a little bit of edge control. So I'm going to be twisting up the part of the hair that is going to be laying over the cake line just to keep it out of the way so I can begin the style that I'm going to do on the front of my head. So I'm just parting a section of hair out, and I'm going to place some edge control on this, and I am going to braid it forward. I am using some leftover pre-stretched hair, and I was going to use the Cuban Twist hair, but then as I started using it, it was just a little bit too thick and it didn't look right for the style that I wanted to do. So I just went ahead and I just took this leftover hair that I had, since it was a little bit thinner and a little bit easier to manage while braiding this into my hair as well. And I'm going to be doing 8 feed-ins in the front of my head, 2 on both sides going to the front of my head, and then 2 starting from the middle going down. Now, being that all 8 of these braids are on the edges of your hair, you want to make sure that you are extremely careful not to braid too tight. I actually feel like I braided a little bit too tight. It was a little bit painful for me to go to sleep the next day. So yeah, just make sure that you are really being easy on your edges, being gentle. Do not braid your edges, like do not snatch them, okay? You want to make sure that you do not cause any damage to your edges just because these braids are right the whole hairline of your head. So do not braid too tight, ease up, and just make sure that you're taking care of your edges. So now that I have finished the braids, I'm going to part this down the middle. I am literally going to do 4 Bantu knots across the front of my head. And this style was literally so simple. It just, it took about maybe an hour and a half. So I'm going to split the hair down the middle, and then I am going to put 2 Bantu knots on each side. And once I get the Bantu knots in, I am going to be securing them with a little black rubber band. Now my hair was already flat ironed and I already had some edge control in it, like I told you guys before. So I didn't really add anything to it because all the product was in it already. I had just taken it out of a ponytail. So it was still straight and it was still, slick enough for me to just put it in the Bantu knots without having to put any more product into it. Now that my Bantu knots are in, I'm going to be putting these beads on the ends of my braids. I got these from my local beauty supply store. And I'm just going to be putting 2 beads on each braid. I'm going to be folding the end of the braids to get it through the beads. So I'm going to be taking it, folding it up, and I'm going to put a rubber band in between the 2 beads where I folded the hair up, and then I'm going to cut the excess hair off. Now I have wet the hair that I have parted out, and you can see it blends really well, and I'm just going to shape up the back of my head. Now you could keep this long, or you could cut it as short as you want to. You know, this is all up to you, but I didn't want it to be as long because, you know, it's hot where I'm at, and I just didn't want all that hair on my neck, and you know, canker line is a little bit itchy, so I wanted to cut it short because I didn't want it on my neck. I didn't want to be sweating and having an itch on my back all day. So cut to your liking. And that is it. Really simple, really cute. Like I said, I got this idea off of Pinterest, and I really liked it. I enjoyed doing the style, except for the part where I braided my edges too tight. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.